This is a Cupra Leon Sports Tourer in the VZ variant, but not just any variant. Because this is the upped power version, meaning it has a little bit of a tune to it, and you can maybe even see it has a little bit of a different wrap. You're not going to get that if you get the up power tuning. But this car is going to offer quite a lot of more horsepower than the normal variant. And it's also quite an affordable one if you consider buying a new one on a secondary market, so you get it from a dealer or something. If you get it straight from Cupra, it's going to start at 38,650 euros. The VZ variant at around 53,000 euros, and then our test vehicle almost 69,000 euros with all the extras, due to the fact that we also have the power tuning on here, which we're going to check out in a second. But like I said, it is quite affordable. If you get one new with around 10 kilometers on it from a dealership, you're going to be looking at the VZ variant with obviously not all the extras, but for around 35, 36, 37,000 euros. And then you can get the upped power tuning for 3,000 euros. And then you have a car on here that's going to get 400 horsepower for almost, well, just around 40,000 euros. And that's quite that's a very good deal in my opinion, because you get a very practical car that you can use as your family car with a lot of space. And then you also get a quite powerful one. The car's obviously been around for a little bit now, so I'm not going to go into much detail when it comes to the design. In the front, we get the new shark nose design that we also had on the Formentor. We get matrix LED lights, standard-wise full LED lights with also three logos in there, kind of like the Cupra logo. And we get some more air intakes down here with also some grey touches, as well as the wrap that we have on there. Obviously, if you want to get that, you're going to have to get it custom made, because you can't get it like this. It's just on the press car that we have here. Under the hood, however, we do have a little bit of a power increase. Like I already mentioned, you can get the upped power tuning, and that power tuning is going to only cost around 2,990 euros. And you can also then get custom suspension also on this car that we have on here, which is going to be another 420 euros. But in here we have that typical four-cylinder engine, a 2-liter four-cylinder engine that we also get in the new Golf R with 333 horsepower. A little bit of a difference there. If you want to get the non-ST variant, so the Sportback variant, you can only get 300 horsepower, because you can only get as a front-wheel drive variant. The Sports Tourer in the VZ variant is going to be able to get that full 333 horsepower with an all-wheel drive system. We have already reviewed the Golf R, so if you want to check out that video on the top right, you can do that. That's going to give you 333 horsepower. As you can see here in the inside, we have that upped power tuning. So you have this emblem down here, which says upped power, made in Germany, as well as the control up here, which is going to be the upped tuning. This is basically going to allow you to get 67 horsepower more. So you're going to be looking at a 400 total horsepower, with also a power increase on the Newton meter up to 470, previously 420. And that's going to allow this car to go from 0 to 100 in 0.3 seconds quicker. So standard wise 4.8 seconds, now 4.5 seconds. And we're going to see if we can actually reach that with also a top speed of 250 kilometers an hour. And the other thing that they've actually changed on here is that you no longer have a soft limiter in here. So in a second, when we're going to the back, we'll also see how it sounds without the soft limiter implemented into it. But like I said, 2,990 euros, it's a good upgrade that you're getting there. We're going to see how that drives in the inside. And now let's do a quick 0 to 100 test. For the 0 to 100 test, we're going to go into the Cupra mode. There, we're going to turn ECC onto Sport. A little bit struggle there to get away, but 0 to 100 in 4.74 seconds. My colleague did it, he got 4.5 something, so definitely that value that you're looking for of 4.5. And on the side, again, you get that wrap with that neon yellow color on here. Just looks pretty cool. I don't think I've driven a car where so many people look at you, because it's like, what the hell is that yellow car doing here? Looks pretty cool. One thing you'll definitely notice is on the outside you can't really tell what color this car has, but if you open the door you can see in here we do have that metallic black color. I think it's midnight black or something like that. 810 euros extras for that. Looks good in my opinion. And one thing you notice here on the side skirts, they're going to be in this gray color, which is an option that you can get, this dark aluminum color, whatever it's called. Doesn't fit well for the wrap, but if you get the black color it will fit on there. For the brakes on here, we have the six caliper Acrobono brake calipers on here, which you get in combination with these 19-inch rims for a total of 4,100 euros extra. And you can also get the upped suspension that we have on here for 420 euros extra. That's going to lower the car by up to around 30 millimeters, so 3 centimeters lower. And I think you can tell it does look fairly low down to the ground and fairly sporty. And therefore it just has a good side profile in my opinion, making the car look fairly sporty and also very nice to drive in my opinion. Dimensions of the car, 4.65 meters long, 1.44 meters tall, 1.80 meters wide without the side mirrors extended, and also a wheelbase of 2.68 meters, which should allow you for a good amount of space in the inside, and you will also get a good amount of trunk space in there, which we'll notice here in a second. Side mirrors are going to be automatically foldable. We do have this Skyline package in here, so you will get a roof on there as a panoramic window, obviously, with which you can also open, and also 75 kilograms of capacity, which you can put on the top of your rails. Then you have keyless entry in the front. You can open it and close it. I don't have the key. He has the key. But otherwise, actually, give me the key real quick. I'll show you how it looks. And there's also, well, it's a typical Volkswagen key. But this thing is also missing here on the back. Usually it shows the Cupra logo on there, or maybe even the ABT, I don't know. Maybe it will show you the ABT. Let's go on to the back, because that's where also a couple of changes have happened. Actually, no, there's not much changes. It's just the ABT logo that you have on here, which also is not completely placed horizontally on here. You might be able to tell it's a little bit janky. It's just glued on there, not completely straight. With the new Cupra Leon, you will also get the design here in the back with the Cupra logo fully implemented into the light bar, which looks good. VZ variant on the back, and also again this neon color for your roof spoiler. Trunk is a little bit weird to open. Took us a little bit to really find out how you open it, because there's no button here, here, or down here for your license plate. It's actually on the side here, so it took a little bit to, actually, where is it now again? There it is. You gotta press it on here, and then you get that electrical tailgate. 620 liters up to 1,600, which is quite a lot. So 620 already when you don't even have the rear seats flipped over, allows you to just have a lot of space. And if you want to flip them over, you just simply use the button on the left, and you can, or on the right, the lever, and then you can flip them over. And even under here, where you have your subwoofer, you will also have a lot of space where you again can put some stuff in there. So again, a very, very practical boot for this car. And then what's even more practical is you can have a towing hook on here. So you can have it as a semi-electrical one, so you just have to flip it in. And up to 1,700 kilograms. The new Golf 8.5R gets 1,900 kilograms. This gets 1,700 kilograms, but still a really good amount for this car. And if you just want to use that, again, very practical. 400 horsepower, and you get that, which is not bad at all. On the bottom, you will also notice there we have our 4 or quad exhaust types. You will notice you cannot get the Akrapovic exhaust pipes for the Sportback or the Sports Tourer variant. If you get the normal Leon, you will be able to pick those up. Or, for instance, in the Formentor, you could pick them up. Actually, no, in the normal Leon, you can't even get them, if I'm not mistaken. But in the Golf 8.5R, for instance, you would be able to get them, but not in the variant one. So in this one, you will not be able to pick them up. So we'll see how those sound. And we're going to do a sound check here in a second when the car is also a little bit more heated up. And join me in the inside, where you can see on the back we actually get quite a good amount of space. I'm 1.80 meters tall, 5'11". I've got good amount of foot room. Knee room is plenty. I can even adjust them and put them forward, and the seat is quite squishy, so you can put your knees in there if you want a little bit more room. Headroom is also good enough. I'm having around this much space, 4-5 centimeters. If you theoretically sit a little bit more to the right, you will have more space due to the fact that we do have that panoramic window in here, which again you can open, and it just opens the space in here, makes it a little bit more roomy. I like that. In the inside, we have our own climate zone in the back here, so you can change the temperature. 2 USB-Cs here if you want to charge your phone or something like that. Let's look at the quality on the side. Up top, hard plastic. Down here, a little bit nicer material. Here, again, nicer material. Plastic here, plastic here. Don't really know why they split this into a design here. So you have your elbow, where you put your elbow, you have good material. And then you have this hard cut here. And then you have hard plastic. Would have been nice if this would have just been one element and fully implemented, like the nicer material in the back. And then down here, again, hard plastic with a good amount of storage space, where you can also put a little bit of a bigger water bottle. And then if we look at the seat quality, we do have the Dynamicas, or the leather seat option in here for 1,000 something euros extra, and they're quite comfortable. You will notice get a good amount of support, and also could sit in here for a longer distance. If you open the center console, you also have 2 cup holders in there, and you can also do this, so you have a center tunnel where you could put some skis through there if you want to go on a ski holiday. And now join me in the inside where you can see it is, well, not different basically. Apart from this up here, it shows the start stop with the ABT logo up here, and also on your side mirrors it's going to show ABT. But that's about it for the inside. Let's quickly talk about the inside. You get a big infotainment display with physical and with touch sensitive buttons. Everything is there touch sensitive. Fairly decent material. I do like this kind of the way they have implemented this here. We obviously get our glove compartment. We get these nice little bucket seats. You could also get some more sportier ones, which are going to be more bucket seat ones. But these are a nice mix of comfort and also give you a good amount of side support. Absolutely love the steering wheel, all physical buttons. The only thing you will notice, what you also get with the ABT is this. What are these? They're like some big ears from some sort of animal. What is this? I don't know how to describe it. It is just a really interesting plastic feeling, and it just looks horrendous in my opinion. They could have definitely done something else there. I mean, it's nicer that they're bigger, but still really just plastic, and they just look horrendous in my opinion. Flatten out on the bottom and obviously circle everywhere else, but I love the steering wheel from Cupra Seat. It just looks really great. We get a digital cockpit, no heads-up display, you can't get one at all. Inductive loading space, 2 USB-Cs, just some more basic stuff here. A little bit of a glove compartment there with also a 12 volt in there. And that's about it for the inside. Zen has its own sound system as well. Let's set up the car to hear how it sounds. That was just a normal mode. You can also make it a little bit louder. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto is included in here, which you can just simply connect. Navigation system, we had that on the Foreman Tour where we didn't have that equipped, even though the car was almost completely equipped out. So navigation, we do have it in here, but you will have to book it extra. For the seats, we have heated seats, and we also have a heated steering wheel, which you see on here. And otherwise, lots of safety features. If you want to quickly turn off the e-warning assistant, press the safety button and then go down one and you have it turned off. Travel assist, ACC, and also a limiter, as well as lane assist. You can quickly turn those off between here. Navigation does work fairly smooth and also quickly, but if you have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, that's usually what I just connected to. And then do you hear that on the right side there? Do you hear that? That is, I'm not too sure if it is due to the fact that we have the suspension here from ABT and they have somehow did something wrong there, or it's a little bit broken. But it just does not sound great. I don't know what happened there. You'll definitely notice that when you're driving slower speeds and maneuvering, you will notice that. We have our rear view camera with also park assistant and trajectory lines which move along. And now let's drive a little bit more sportier with the Cupra mode. And the car, you definitely feel that difference of the 400 horsepower here, that increase, which is quite nice. I mean, that punch is really good. And it just is a good combination of that horsepower, the practicality, and also just a sporty drive feeling of this. It is a fairly sportily equipped here with that suspension, and it does also feel quite nice. It's very responsive on the pedal, on the gas pedal, especially when you're in the Cupra mode. That bird wanted to fly I don't know where. And you will also notice some pops and bangs that you occasionally get even with the basic exhaust system, which is not the Akrapovic. If I, for instance, go off the gas now. There. And one thing I have noticed, Foreman Tour and kind of Cupra in general, they have the kind of like fake engine sound. I don't think it is working in our vehicle, because you can, if you go into the drive modes, if you go in individual, you can see motor sound is set to Cupra. The only way you wouldn't have fake sound if you put it onto pure. I don't know if that's a thing that they also did with ABT, so you can hear the engine sound, the fake one, or it just doesn't work with our vehicle variant here, and maybe it is broken or something. But yeah, that is one thing I have noticed. We don't have any fake engine sound. And I'm a person who always turns that off, so I'm quite happy that we don't have it, because like I said, I'm not the biggest fan when it comes to fake engine sound. But otherwise, this really is a nice experience of the kick here. And then you can turn it in. Cornering capabilities are definitely given, and suspension does a good job to keep you planted to the floor, or to the, not the floor, to the road. Body lean, you will notice there's a little bit body lean. You will be shifting outwards. but still it does a really good job. And these tires also are quite nice. General, very nice driving experience. I love the combination here of the brake pressure and also of our gas pedal input. Good combination, brakes are very nicely configured. Just feels all around great to drive. And also have ESC still on sport, so it does not limit our traction in any sense and, well, controls our input down. So it's really fun to drive your sporty. And then when you don't want to drive sporty, simply press on the Cupra button, back into comfort, and then you have a car that you can drive with your whole family. Well, it depends on if your family wants to drive sporty or comfort, but if you want to go on to holiday, you got plenty of space in the back, and you even have that power to just quickly overtake and even drive fast on the Autobahn. And that's, I think, a really nice combination here. And then if you can get this car for 40,000 with the upped tuning for a new one, that is insanely good price value in my opinion, because this car is really fun to drive. And 400 horsepower for 40,000 euros. And then Cupra motors once again. Let's go into the race mode. And I do love that drowniness of that 4-cylinder. It actually sounds really nice. And you definitely notice that difference of the 333 horsepower up to 400 horsepower. We recently had the new Golf 8R 8.5R, which has that 333 horsepower. Video in the top right corner if you want to check that out, or in the description. And you definitely notice the punch in here. It is way more agile. It is, well, agile in the sense of power input, and a lot more fun to drive. Definitely increase that amount of power. And if you want, you can also put the drift mode in here and drive it a little bit more and drift it around the corners. Obviously only on, well, closed circuits, not on public roads. But still, it is good. It is really fun to drive.